Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Friday, special Friday edition. And for a couple of reasons. One is we're out all day tomorrow, going to see my granddaughter starting her equestrian career. Really fun to see that because my daughter Amy had also gone quite a ways in the equestrian world. Love horses, as you know, from our horse racing background. By the way, just so you know, start looking for our audio podcast of some of the racetracks we've been at. I've finally been getting them downloaded, and they're there from some of the places Joey and I have visited, most recently even in Fort Erie here in Ontario. So anyway, that's a little bit off topic, but just take a look for that. Also, as many of you know, if you've been coming, we're not going to keep listing off where we're being listened to now, but we're doing video podcasts and now audio podcasts. Go to ultimatesportschannel.com. You can see where can you watch us. One of the pages there shows you all links to find us now, and you're able to download that and listen to us in the car, at home. You don't have to watch video now. Don't have to use much data, and so options for you there. Anyway, this is a PGA show. Two parts. Actually, it's not just a PGA show because the Scottish Open is not part of the PGA, but it's a golf show, and we're going to start with the PGA. There's an event this week, which is a kind of an off-week event, which means, you know, that a lot of the top guys are in Scotland, but a lot of great golfers playing, either young or old. Or these kinds of events can launch a career, can relaunch a career. Luke Donald, former #1, is playing this week. We got some other significant players right in there. So what we're going to do is first kind of look at our picks, which are not very good, and we're going to look at some re-picks we might do going into the weekend here. So anyway, Joe, give us our picks, see where they've done. We've been really good in golf. We kind of missed out this week, I think, because it's an off week and it was a little harder to pick who's going to step up this week.
Yeah, it's a difficult week. Like you said, it's guys either getting their first win or rejuvenating a career with another win. Yeah, that's exactly what happened here. I went with the veterans, Luke Donald, Zach Johnson, Jason Duffner. Duffner missed the cut. Zach Johnson's already qualified for the Open, is at -3. Hopefully a big weekend from him. And Luke Donald is not qualified for the Open at -6, tied 32nd, the best of our picks so far. Maybe he can make a run on the weekend. He had a couple bogeys to finish today. Was right up there, but we'll see. He's going to need a couple big 10 unders or 9 unders to make it close. But hopefully, you know, he can maybe get in a position to win a spot in the. They're at 13.
13. So they're far back. We're going to need some big rounds.
Yeah. You went with Wyndham Clark, Joey Garber, and Mackenzie Hughes.
Looking for the young guys.
Garber and Clark made the cut on the number. None of these guys, besides Zach Johnson, have British Open qualifications. That's why they're all playing this week. That is a specialty of this event, as the winner does get to move on. Obviously, very difficult to do is win an event. And but
however, Jordan Spieth started here.
Spieth and DeChambeau. People don't realize this. This event is obviously an off-week event. We know that, but the careers it could save or promote start has been substantial. And you had DeChambeau win it and Spieth win it, so obviously got their careers started off on the right path. Especially with these guys now finishing school and turning pro about 4 weeks ago. So these are one of the events that they get to play before, you know, they either have to go to web.com Q school or they keep their status depending on how well they do. So it's a big event for a lot of people.
This is a great point you make here. Some of these events around this time, they get sponsors exemptions coming out of school. This is big. Last week, our winner was out of school, sponsor exemption. Now people are talking about maybe one of the great golfers long term. So it is a big week for them, no doubt. It's unfortunate that the young guys really haven't stepped up this week for whatever reason. But there are some familiar names in there, and I think a significant name is going to be my pick to win it all when we go through. And who's that?
Harold Varner.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And why is he significant? We know there's not a lot of African Americans on the tour. I mean, the most famous one's Tiger. Yeah. So hard to live up to that, obviously. But Barton's been around a little bit, and he's been close lately. And I like to pick guys that have been close lately because that means their game is rounding into form. We've talked about this many times on the show about PGA players. They round into form, they get good for 3 or 4 weeks, and they have an opportunity. He's had a couple of good finishes, been in the mix a little bit. I think he's there again. 3 shots back, I think. And I think he can win this week, and I think it would be fantastic. You know, it's a long time back. You wouldn't even remember, Joey. I remember, you know, Rodney Peete and guys like that were pre-Tiger. You know, were the guys, the original guys who were on the PGA Tour, and they were on there mostly by themselves and won a couple of events. And then obviously Tiger showed up and changed the whole world. But you know what? It's important, and I think Varner's the kind of guy who's been close enough, and I'd love to see him pick up a win this week. I think he's got the skills to do it, obviously, and he's close. That's what I like. My other picks are so far away. Yeah, he's got a shot.
I mean, Harold Varner had a good run at the PGA Championship. Obviously, a big Sunday, unfortunately, left him out of it, and obviously kind of fell way back, unfortunately. Didn't even register a top 20. which was too bad. You know, playing Brooks, who was obviously
but you got to get there sometimes, right?
He was obviously going on to win, yeah, and it just happens. I mean, nothing wrong with it. But Varner could definitely have a good chance here. You know, he'll get Luis Glover, who already has British Open status for next week, so you kind of hope he doesn't win because he's already making the flight over. Let's look at the guys at the top. We got Vegas and Andrew Landry.
And we have special cheering on Vegas.
Jonathan Vegas,
right?
man.
What's his only good golf tournament?
Yeah, the Canadian Open. He's won it twice, back to back. Actually, I remember watching that event. Someone in the first round said, "Johnny, you're going back to back." He went back to back. It was kind of crazy.
And he's a pretty good front runner. I think that's how he won the Canadian Open both times. He got out in front. Well, pretty decent.
He wins very low scoring golf tournaments. He's known for going. I mean, winning the Canadian Open, he's like 22, 23 under, so he can go low. I'm looking at a couple guys here. I want to look at Daniel Berger, who's in 4th. He's 3 back. I think it'd be good if he got a win. He kind of had a hot start to his career, and was really projected to be a top player. Almost won at the Honda. I actually had a lead at the U.S. Open through 54 holes. I just think he kind of fell off the map a little bit here. He switched companies, club companies. I hope his game's coming back, and I think this would be a good week for him to get a win, get British Open status, and go play next week. But I think he's important to start doing well because he came out and was really firing on all cylinders as a rookie.
And an interesting story. You get a chance to go Golf Digest. They did a whole story on him. I'm probably find it online obviously now. The magazine issue is probably months old now, but a real interesting dynamic between him and his dad. His dad's actually a professional tennis coach and has coached some really high-ranking players. Has actually missed some of his best events.
Almost all of them.
They had a challenging, father-son relationship because his father obviously wanted him to play tennis. But he's one of those guys in golf that hasn't achieved what he wanted to, but still made millions of dollars, so life ain't too bad. But go and look for that article online. Very interesting dynamic between him and his father. And, it's been unfortunate, really, that his father hasn't supported him more because he's got his own career. And some people will agree the father has a career, so he needs to pursue that. Berger's got his own career, and that's the way it is.
I'll say one thing.
It's an interesting article.
There's always plus and minuses in every life, and obviously he at least probably got top training because his dad, the people who coach, obviously was very successful in that, which allowed Daniel to get top coaching. Obviously, tennis and golf actually has some relation. Obviously, fitness, individuality.
A lot of golfers play tennis.
A lot of golfers play tennis.
Kuchar #1 probably.
Yeah, exactly. So there's always benefits and disadvantages kind of in your situation. His is a little bit different. Unlike Rory. Rory's talking about his parents, how they just live off his money now. They're always at his tournaments if they can when he's going to win. So it's just different lives, right?
But his dad's high profile too, so it's tough. Berger's dad.
Oh yeah, exactly. Too. Yeah.
So it's tough to do that.
It just depends on where you came from and how you brought him. And good for his dad for sticking to his career. That's what he wants to do. But I do remember the story because Berger was about to win a tournament and his dad wasn't even watching. But
Daniel, I'm busy watching my guy play tennis.
Hey, Daniel, you got to start winning more than maybe. But the other guy other than Daniel Berger actually that I think is very interesting is Russell Henley. I don't know if you know this. He was actually I think he was the first player to win his first start. Ever as a rookie. One of the first to do that. And then he's kind of fallen off the map here, but he does have 4 wins. And this is a type of event that Russell Henley would probably pop up and win. Good player. I think he'd fit well over the British Open too, by the way. So it'd be good to see for this event a guy win, then go over and be successful. Obviously, that's the goal. So I think he'd be an interesting play. A couple guys near the top, but exactly what we talk about. It could be career change for Vegas and Landry, Varner, Henley, Berger. It's not guys we see every day, but as I said before, it's actually sometimes the most important weeks because even though we like to cheer for the top guys because that's who we know, it doesn't matter as far as history goes. Other than history, it does not matter to these guys. Obviously, it matters to the history of golf, their Hall of Fame careers, TV, chasing down records. But as far as lives go, these are bank account changing, these are moment changing, these are first time winners who are hosting the trophies, or guys who have fallen so far off the map, which is sad to see, making comebacks. So this is one of those emotional weeks. Probably you see most emotional winners at the John Deere, rather than like the Players' Championship when Rory wins and it's like, about time, but
I must say, John in Vegas is, as we talked about, a local cheering. He's
funny. I hope he wins.
Guy. We followed him actually on one of the Canadian Opens, and he's a really great guy. There isn't a single person in the world that says anything bad about Jonathan Vegas.
No, I mean...
and since he's a Canadian, we're going to cheer for him.
Here's another reason, so real quick. He could get on the President's Cup team if he got it going. So he needs a win badly, and then a good finish this season, get on that President's Cup team that I'm sure you hear from most guys is a big deal. No matter what the scores are at the end of these Presidents Cup, they're proud to represent their country. I'm sure he'd be one of those guys for sure. So hopefully he can maybe make a run. I'd like to see him on the team. Obviously, really the only golfer from where he's from, Venezuela.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right on that. I'm pretty sure I am. So obviously it'd be a big week. But let's move on to Scottish Open, where there's a little bit more star power.
Well, that is the star tournament this week, getting ready for the British Open.
Yes.
A lot of great players there. And what's the leaderboard look like right now?
So you got 3 tied at the top. You got, by the way, a lot of these guys have already qualified for the Open. Some have not. Again, you kind of want to see someone who has not obviously winning because they get in the Open, which is obviously cool. But for the tournament, I know they want a big winner. But you got Bernd Wiesberger, Eric Van Roen, and Lee Slattery. Wiesberger and Van Roen are already qualified. Slattery is not. But they're all tied at the top here at 14 under. Scores are nice and low over there. Weather's good. Bernd Wiesberger.
So that's your Wimbledon. It's sunny and it's hot.
Bernd Wiesberger has been around a little bit. We've heard him over here in America. But yeah, good leaderboard. Stenson's in second, which is actually fourth because of the 3 tied at the top. You got Thomas, who's only 3 back.
Well, and Thomas is a good one we got to talk about. This is great to see.
Yes.
Now, you picked him last week, probably a week off.
Yeah, so I picked Thomas a little bit. I thought because a wrist injury, I feel like no one would rush that. I feel like he's got a good team around him. I felt like he rushed it a tiny bit, although he had a decent showing at the Canadian Open, decent showing at the U.S. Open. I thought he would be better. But obviously he's rounding into form. I want to see him do well. I think America needs him to do well. He was a guy that blasted on the scene with his buddy Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
I think he's another guy, if he can get going in the major, would be great for golf. So yeah, I like to see him having a good week here. I don't think he should win. I don't really want him to win, but if he can rally out a top 10 or top 5, would trend in the right direction. Obviously, going into the Open Championship, where I think he would have a good game to fit the course, assuming the weather's good. My only worry with wrist injuries is the fescue.
Yeah.
If he stays out of that, though, he's obviously one of the most talented players on the planet. And obviously his game's also rounding in the form. I feel like he could be a dark horse in the British Open because no one's talking about him, to be honest, because of the injury. Well,
and the other thing I like about Thomas is the fact that his challenges right now are injury-driven. He's coming back from an injury. He's got to get his timing back, all those kinds. Jordan Spieth's gone off the map because he's just not playing good golf. So I feel better about Thomas than I do Spieth at this moment because he's just, it's not like he was playing bad before he had the injury. He was playing pretty good golf.
Yeah, no, I mean,
got the injury. Now he's coming back,
more
right?
Wins
but Spieth has been struggling.
Yeah,
struggling.
Yeah. I mean, he can out of nowhere though. The British Open is the type of style of golf where you could actually not be really on your game, but because there's so much creativity involved, you really don't know if you're on your game. But if you can make it work in the winds and the conditions, you might just be better in that situation. So Spieth right now, with the way his game is, I bet he's hoping actually for the worst weather possible. When your game's bad, you want bad weather.
It's a good excuse for that, how bad he's hitting the driver, at least.
Well, there's that, but I think it just changes the game for everyone else and allows you to kind of scrape by.
Yeah, but
his short game's actually very, very good right now. No one's really counting about that.
Joey.
You can go without the drive of the British Open. But I'm not picking him to win anyway.
Yeah.
Thomas isn't winning anyway.
But here's the thing.
Rory McIlroy is winning the British Open, so that's all I'm going to say. But anyways, let's worry about...
The Fescue's trouble, the Scottish Open.
Doesn't he always go off topics? It's the Scottish Open.
And the British Open.
About the British Open already.
I'm talking about Thomas right now, and then you brought in Spieth. So
you brought Spieth.
I had to go there, and Spieth is hitting the driver so bad. He's gonna. If you want to, and he's not a very tall guy. So here's what's going to be funny about.
Who's not a tall guy?
Spieth. He's only like 6 feet, right?
He's 6'3". Thomas is 5'10".
Well, maybe it's Thomas I'm thinking of. Okay, so Spieth won't have fescue up to his waist. It'll only go up past his knees. He'll be there the whole tournament. Anyway, let's get back. Why'd you get off Scottish Open?
You did.
Come on. Okay, so where are our guys?
Our guys, well, I mean, you had Ian Poulter, who's actually, by the way, 4 back. Hey. Ian Poulter, by the way, if he won the British Open, it wouldn't mean anything to golf, but it'd be probably the most
fun.
Great
to Europe.
And in Europe would be nuts if he won the British Open.
Ryder Cup hero.
I couldn't imagine the celebration either. Yeah. Oh my God! Afterwards, it'd be a lot of fun. Probably be part of those parties. But I think it'd be a big deal. I think it'd be interesting to see him. Dark horse, kind of late in his career. I'm trying to find Matt Kuchar, by the way, only shot 100 today.
Yeah, Jesus,
was tied for the lead. 9 under for the.
I thought I was going to be on the show here. Just
at 5 back. It'd be good to obviously him going to win.
Yeah,
but honestly, I don't think you got to remember he doesn't want to win because if he wins, then he won't win
Nobody's
the British.
Nobody's gone back to back. Yeah.
Only what's his face? Phil Mickelson has done that. Rory with a good showing, by the way, -8. I picked Rory. He said he wanted to win this. He's kind of far back to do that, but with Rory, he can easily shoot 10 under, especially where the golf course is playing. Yeah. So he's at least in it though for the TV.
He stays at fairway.
And worst case, he's got to be feeling good going into next week. Let's see. Let's find our other guys, man. Scrolling down the board here, not really finding the other
What's
guys
really
here.
important is...
Oh, Appy Bonrat made the cut.
I'll make the cut, yeah. Well, he's out probably tonight because he didn't do well enough. He's out with the girls in his Lamborghinis.
Fowler missed the cut.
Oh, my God. Ricky.
Beer Garden missed the cut. Hung Tong Lee missed the cut.
Well, I do have two guys up near the top. So once again...
Who do you got? Oh, Poulter and Coot.
Yeah, two of my guys near the top.
Yeah.
Like Joey's guys are all like...
I only have one guy who made the cut.
Which is Rory, And Rory doesn't want to win this week either because no one's gone back-to-back but Phil. So no one's really... It might be the ugliest fourth round in the last 4 or 5 holes while all of these guys are hacking it to try not to win. So what you want to do is pick the least known guy on Sunday and bet him because none of these guys want to win. Because in the history of all these tournaments, only Phil's gone back-to-back. None of these guys are as good as Phil. So, anyway, I don't think they're going to want to win. We'll see. It might be the funniest fourth round back nine you've ever seen. But look for someone
who wants
to win when he can win. Well,
all these guys want to win when they can win because, especially, the only person who really can actually say, I have a chance to win the British Open, so I might not win, would be Rory McIlroy. Really, everyone else wants to win. Even Kuchar, respectfully, you want to win this event, bud, because your odds to win the British Open aren't that high anyway. So, honestly, really only Rory can say, but at this point, Rory said he's going for all opens. He's not even a guaranteed. If Brooks was in here, I'd believe Brooks if he faked a bad fourth round. I'd believe him because, man, he could easily win the British Open. But no one in this field, respectfully, of course, a lot of you guys have qualified on the European Tour making millions of dollars. But as an analyst, respectfully, none of you have a real good chance.
So let's really look at the best case scenario. Poulter wins the Scottish Open. Europe is lit up by it.
That would be fun.
And then they go to the British Open and where Rory can win or somebody else. Yes. I'm going to pick
Rory. It's in Northern Ireland, by the way.
Because Rory right now has got the in the majors. So
Rory,
I'm going to have a different pick.
It's in Northern Ireland.
I think Poulter winning this week would be cool for Europe. They'd go nuts. Mr. Ryder Cup. And then knowing he's probably not going to win the British Open, so it'd be great to see him win here. Then all the guys come in for the British Open, and we'll be talking about who we think is going to win next week. But anyway, there you go, Scottish Open. Really going to be exciting one way or another. I'm pulling for Poulter to win it. The PGA, look for something in there that could be exciting. I'd love to see Berger win. I really would. I think it's important for the game. I think it's important to have another guy in there that can follow up with Tiger. Never going to be as good as Tiger, no kidding. Nobody is going to be that good. But it would be impressive for the game, I think, to have it happen. So that's what I'm cheering for this weekend. And Joey, all your guys are gone, so you don't even have to watch. You can continue to watch Wimbledon.
Rory's right there.
Rory's going to back up. He does not want to be close in this event.
Rory's at -8.
That's it. I'm going to have the guys closest as I usually do every single week.
I have the guys closest to John Deere.
Here we go.
Donald, by the way.
John Deere, who can you pick? Anyway, Barner's my new pick because my guys didn't do very good. So there we go.
Change it. Fine, my new pick is Bernd Wiesberger. He's leading the tournament.
We'll be back Monday with an update and recap of what happened this weekend. Enjoy. We'll talk to you then.